Evening, everybody. Welcome aboard. Thanks for turning up. Um, yeah. So, first of the chat. Evening, Aaron. Asbo 93. No, I was trying to do a spooky face with the torch, and it's too light. Didn't work. Thank you, Brandon, Mr. B. Hey, Chris. I see you. Welcome, welcome. Hey, Dan. Ooh, hope everyone is well. As you can see, the Rona rug is still going, and I'm getting that definite Heather Langenkamp streak down the front now. Evening, Thomas. Evening, Jason. Redfish, Bluefish. Evening, Flynn. Evening, Jesse. How's everyone doing? Yeah, Guppy Gang. There are Guppies trundling backwards and forwards in there. Most of them haven't got tails at the moment, admittedly, because of a certain grumpy butterfly cichlid that's in there. Hey, Kenny. Yeah, I actually caught him the other day. Yeah, eating the tails. And oh, there he goes. There's Spaz. Spaz the Bashir, star of the show. He knows when the camera's on. Camera comes on, he's out and about showing off, being a complete spaz. Hence the name. And I don't know about anyone there. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's been growing mostly. Psychedelic Hippocampus, hello. Welcome aboard. Patrick, hello. Shawnee Sean, hello. And anyone else I've missed, hello, hello. As I said, I hope everyone's healthy, staying safe, not having any issues with certain viruses or anything. Yeah, it's the hashtag bug bite smelling in evening. That's just not going to work with me, being as I have no sense of smell. So to me, bug bites smell exactly the same as bacon. Yeah. Probably taste not quite as good, but hey, I'm not quite that desperate yet to actually sit here and eat bug bites. Although if I didn't have my emergency energy drink, then I may well have done. As yes, I kind of forgot to buy a can last night at work when I was on my way home. So we have the emergency can of Red Bull. Oh yeah, bacon bug bites. Now you're talking, Brown. Now you're talking. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Food that you and your fish can eat together. Mind you, if Monster would get off their backsides and send me that sponsorship, then I wouldn't have to buy them. Yeah, bacon bits. But yeah, if it was just bacon bits, I wouldn't put them in a fish tank because they wouldn't have a long enough lifespan. And heck, I'm normally lucky if I get the bacon because as soon as Zach smells it, oh, pardon me. So what's been going on in Sharpie's fish room this week? Doner kebab. Oh no, not kebabs. Oh. Yeah, sober people don't eat kebabs. Evening, Bob. How are you doing, Mr. Kayla? Yes, not a lot been going on this week. I've not bought any new fishies. Only new births have been guppies, which are slowly being eaten by that dude. Considering he's supposed to be mostly blind, he's really good at catching baby guppies. Yeah. King of Foods, what? Doner kebabs or guppies? Oh, and Dave's making an appearance as well at the back. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. The baby apistos are kind of doing what seems to happen. Unfortunately, I've still not figured out what's going on there, whether they're dying for some reason or whether dad's eating them, because mum's doing a great guarding job. But what I'll do is next spawn I get, I will definitely I will definitely take some out and put into a tank on their own. No, I didn't see James getting attacked by piranhas. Did he get his fingers nipped? If it has, I would definitely have to watch that just for the lulz. And I'm sure James wouldn't get upset with me laughing at him if he got bitten by a piranha. Yeah, he's got the sense of humour. He'd know that. He probably laughed about it as well, like chunk out of his knuckle. Yeah, so this is why I don't keep fish with big sharp teeth. I think the worst I might get is a gumming. Spaz might have a nibble, but I don't think Spaz has actually got. I don't think Bishirs actually have teeth, as it were. I haven't seen any, and he's done some pretty big yawns. So I know shell dwellers do. So when I get them, then I'll probably get nipped off them because they've got quite sharp, pointy teeth. Seriously. But yes, as I say, if I kept piranhas, anytime I put my hand in the tank, I would bring out my chainmail glove, left over from when I worked in a chicken factory. Just a cloud of blood and all. Oh dear. You know, I'm laughing about it, and now it's actually kind of serious one. So yeah. But then I laugh at some of the stuff I've done to myself injury wise, and yeah. So I've been doing quite a bit of research into shell dwellers, as some of you probably are aware. I've got a tank right here set up ready for them. Bit of him dressing on each other about it is, yeah, well, they've got teeth like scissors, haven't they? Basically, they're like shears. Anyway, so yes, Sean, Shelley's. So I've got the tank all set up. I think you've probably mostly seen it, but I will show you again just so you know. Dun, 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 dun. Somewhere around there. Get the camera kind of straight sharp might help. So we have obviously LED lights being run at less than 100% means you get the 50 hertz flicker on the picture. But yeah, so that's ready. Only problem now, I definitely won't need cichlid salts, not with how hard my water is. Oh dear, now the camera's doing that thing where it don't want to focus. Come on, I've got to get out of picture again. No, no. Come on, focus camera, focus. You know you want to. We're going to have another one of them streams where everything's out of focus now. Yeah, I'll say the water out the tap here is 8.2 to 8.4, and normally about 300 to 400 parts per million hardness. Now, if I put a TDS pen in, it comes out between 300 and 400 every time. And that's just going to bug me being out of focus, and it's going to bug you. Yeah, that'll heal well. But yeah, if needs be, I can get some cichlid salts. It's easy enough. And that really is going to bug me, that camera being out of focus. So let's get it to focus on something else, shall we? Let's see if we can show you something else. Oh, yeah, here we go. Who says that plecos don't eat blackbeard algae? Dave's got a blackbeard algae beard at the moment. And that is probably a belly full of it. And down here, we have the CPDs and the single. As you can see, right at the bottom there is little baby apistogramma. And the CPDs have been spawning away, so fingers crossed there might be some baby CPDs turning up at some point. And yay, we have focus back. Hello, Jess. Yeah, I'll say if I need to, I can soon add extra hardness to the water. The area I live in, it's just so hard, it's ludicrous. You have to have one of the cabinet things in your kettle, because otherwise it will scale up solid within a week. If you have a dripping tap, you'll end up with a stalactite hanging off of it, that kind of thing. There's that much lime scale in the water. Yep. Munch away, Mandy, munch away. I'll try not to do anything too interesting while you're eating, or too disgusting. Yeah, it's a lot easier to make water hard than is to make it softer. If you want to make it softer, you need an RO unit pretty much. Or massive levels of rotting botanicals in the tank to produce acids, which then reduce the hardness. But yeah, so back to the shell dwellers. I've been on about 12 minutes, Aaron. I did say hello to you at the start. The reason I do the thing, set it up to go live, and then wait is because I'm waiting for someone else's stream to finish. So I go on directly after they finish. And I'm not fussed. Yeah, if B runs over a few minutes, that's not a problem. Yeah, so obviously I can't get the RO for the ship. There you go. So it seems at the moment I can't get Neolampologus multifasciatus, multis. But what I can get locally is I can get gold ocellatus, I can get blue ocellatus, I can get Neolampologus brevis or Neolampologus similis. Not entirely sure which one would be, if I still can't get hold of multis after another week or two, which would be the better to go for. Obviously I want something friendly that is gonna be happy, breed away nicely, not fight too much, and just do shelly type stuff. Similis are a nicer fish. Yep, that's what I was thinking. From what I've read and watched, obviously I take everything I read and watch kind of with a grain of salt, because one person's experience may be completely different to another person's experience. You know, but there are people who say you can never keep a better with shrimp. I would have to disagree with that. Hello, Dee, you lovely lady. Who are you? No, because Norman quite happily lived with a colony of shrimp and they were his buddies. Engelbert, I've not tried with shrimp, but being the shorter tail, half moon, being that much zoomier than the rose tail that was Norman, he would be able to catch them quite easily. So whether it was Norman realising he couldn't catch a shrimp, they were too quick, and just left them be, I don't know. Japan, Wagaki or Cairo. No, new ones on me, cheery. Tiny little bit more aggressive, and the pattern goes past the gill plates. Yeah, that's pretty much. Oh, I thought. So if I were to go with, if I can't get multis, then Similis would probably be the best bet. Righty ho. That's kind of what I took from the various videos I've watched. But just wanted to see it, check and get some opinions from people in the know that I trust. Bob, concerned about the size of James' wound, all the layers of skin, possibly tending on too large an area to granulate and close. Yeah, it's one of those where keep it dressed, keep it clean, and hope. I mean, as long as he's still got full movement of his finger, then tendon should be okay. This comes from someone who has done all sorts of nasty, mangly injuries to hands and feet and all sorts. Yeah, that is the problem. Is it's not a cut or it's not going to be like a cut type wound, and it's not going to be a stab type wound. It's going to be a take a chunk out type wound. I'd say a bit like the one on, a bit like the scar up there on the shoulder. I got bitten by a parrot. Yeah, just took a chunk of flesh out, basically. Primary James a lot more aggressive in the red bellies, nothing like black. Yeah, so I have noticed that. I said, gold boot, you can only have a trio to pull the fry. Yeah, that's what I was hoping to avoid having to pull the fry every time, because that just leads to another set of problems for me anyway, especially given you. Yeah, I've got 3 grow out tubs on the go at the moment, which is mostly bristlenose plecos, and then some guppies that I just shifted over to get out of another tank, and yeah, the random crebensis that just keep turning up from somewhere. Yes, there are more cribs in that tub now. I have no idea where they came from. I took them all out, found another pair, took them all out, had a good check, and yesterday morning, God, that sounded Norfolk. Yeah, I found some more cribs in there. There has to be a wormhole to whatever river they live in is it Nigeria? It's got to be something like that. There's a wormhole in there. Either that or my ghosty person is going out and buying baby cribs and putting them in my tub just to take the mickey. Look for AC Infinity Live fans. Yeah, it's probably one of those things they just haven't sent any over for a while. So yeah, so similar, you don't have to pull the fry, do you? I think oh, in one ear. Is he going to come out the other? Yeah, there he goes. An average person can't tell the difference between a sim and a multi. So yep, fair enough then. That will be the plan. So Mr. Grumpy Tailbiter will be coming out of here then very shortly, and his 2 colleagues in that tank will also be coming out very shortly. Yeah, there's a reason the Pacu gets called the ball biter. Actually, speaking of which, as we were talking about a little bit in D's stream, Repashy foods. I actually got my first Repashy food this week. The Pleco formula, the unfortunately named Morning Wood. Now, as far as I'm aware, morning wood is not a food. Morning wood is something that most men wake up with. Yeah, I'm just glad I don't wake up with green powder. It's finished painting with Scott, King and Queen. I will have a look for it. You can guarantee that, Chris? Yeah, I'm sure it looks absolutely stunning. Is it a picture of his new... Oh, God, I can't remember the name of it now. His new fishy. So this is... I'm not... The one thing I was concerned about with Spaz is that he might start munching on me, but he hasn't yet. He likes a stroke, actually. He'll sit there and just let me give him a little stroke down the side. And when he's had enough, he swims off slowly. That's the only time he doesn't spaz out, really. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hello, Bertie. Yeah, I know. You've got a big belly full of eggs again. Yes. Yeah, you can definitely say my plecos aren't hungry. The size of the bellies on them. So thank you very much, Chris. I'll have a look at it once the stream's done. I say that was the one thing the other thing I was worried about with Mr. Bashir back there was feeding him, but he soon hunts down the pellets I put in there, and he's Trimax, cool. Yeah, he's topping his diet up with baby guppies as well, which he doesn't really eat as such as inhale. Size of his gob. Yeah, you talking about you? Yeah, Dino boy. Oh, is that Pammy? Hello. I was beginning to worry that Pam was at ex-fishy because I hadn't seen her for a few days. There you are. Hello. You've just been hiding up. Yeah. Bless her. But yeah, so I did my first trial with the Repashy this morning. Mix them up according to the instructions. I think it needs a bit more water than they say it does, but yeah, there we go. And got an ice cube tray, gladly donated by Mary. So I should be mixing it up into the ice cube tray so I can then just dot it about the various tanks that have got plecos in. Oh yeah, the vampire tetra. Yeah. Hey Tom, how you doing? What's been going wrong? What have people been doing, Tom? Have people not been wearing masks and staying 6 feet apart? Or have they been walking on the grass that you just cut? Or have you perhaps just put a mower over a dog log? We've all done that one where we put the mower over a dog log and it's sprayed all up your legs. That's not good. Very hard to get that fish off live food. Yeah, I'll say something that is 100% carnivore, hunting carnivore at that. Yeah, you're not gonna turn them into a veggie. Let's put it that way. Very unlikely to be eating flake or pellets. Oh, getting a bit dark out there. Good. Might get some more rain. Yeah, so I mean that was the thing I was worried about with the Bashir is would he be picky with what he eat? Would he only want live foods, as it were? But nah, he's quite happily hoovering up whatever I put in there. To be honest, eats bug bites. catfish pellets. He did try an algae wafer the other day, but spat it out again, which I can't blame him because they're nasty. Yeah, I'd say the pacu. There was an episode of River Monsters, I think, on the black pacu. If it's been on River Monsters, I don't want it in a fish tank. Let's put it that way. You know, it's not going to end well. It would be like putting Midas cichlids in with CPDs or something. You know, he's just not going to have any CPDs left. Yeah. Oh, there you go, Bertie. You're showing off your big fat belly as well. Yeah. Six are smaller, slightly less, I wouldn't say aggressive fish, slightly less dangerous fish. Fish that preferably aren't going to take your knuckle off when you put your hand in the tank, or your fingers, or anything else. Because you know there's someone with a weird fetish out there. Well, I think most of us have seen the video of the boy with the carp. The one where he discovers that carp have pharyngeal teeth the hard way by putting something a bit too far down a carp's throat and getting the end of it crunched off. I kind of wince and laugh at the same time. So all the tank work, all the work hours in, yards cut, good. Tank maintenance, barbecue and chill. Tank maintenance and chill, I can do with that. Yeah, that sounds my kind of day. I'd probably miss out the barbecue if I could. All fish at the shop. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's something that's named after or is obviously a large predator. Oh, go bathe one of the human fry. Yeah, time to get the hose pipe out, Dan. Either that or combine it with water changes. Just pour the water change bucket over their head. Job done. Might smell a bit funny afterwards, but you know. Oh yeah, pretty much all fish or all animals have interesting facets to their behaviour, some of which you wouldn't expect. As you say, piranhas building nests and the male looking after the young until they get to a point where it's actually worthwhile him eating them. I swear that's kind of part of it. So you can have a really big fish and lots of really small fish with it, and they're fine. Because the big fish looks at them and goes, "You're just not worth eating." Well, Tom, if you're ever in the UK and you fancy cutting some grass, look me up. Because I hate doing it. So I've had hay fever since I was 18, and it's getting worse the older I get. So basically, the last time I cut my grass, I was pretty much blind for a day. And that was with the antihistamines, double dosed. Oh, hello, spider. You want to make sure you don't fall off that ceiling, buddy, because if you do, you're going to land in a fluval flex with a couple of cichlids. Yeah, I hope we're not on about fetishes there, Chewy, because yeah, Candiru every man's worst nightmare. Yeah, we all know about those things. Which is why it's okay to pee in the pool, just don't pee in the Amazon. That's my advice for today. Probably safer to pee on a power line, to be honest. Bless it. Suffice to say, as soon as this stream's over, that spider is getting splattered. It'll either get splattered or it'll drop into a fish tank and get eaten. Let's put it that way. Oh, the one that draws the holes. The oh no, that's the shark, isn't it? Not the lamprey. I know we have the lamprey. I don't even know. No, that's too. That's not a catfish, is it? The lamprey, but yeah, the lamprey does the same. We do have lampreys in our rivers. Candirasa, yeah. Yeah, and it's one of those where, again, there's probably hundreds, if not thousands, of species of them. There's just the one that does that, but that's the one everyone knows about. Tomatoes again, no rain, so daily watering. That is the issue. We had some rain yesterday. It was supposed to be, I mean, there were weather warnings for thunderstorms and floods, and then it kind of rained a bit for an hour and a half, and then a couple of short showers after that. That's about it. But it keeps clouding over here today, so hopefully some more. And I would normally, send you some rain, Bob, but kind of need it here as well, just to keep the temperature and the humidity down. Because that was the problem yesterday at work, was the humidity went through the roof. When you just stood there not doing anything and you're sweating, yeah, that kind of humidity level isn't good. Calm down, spazzy boy. Oh, pardon me. Other news. The glow light Danio, the chopray Danio I had that decided it wanted to be white, has now started to develop dark bars on it. So it's now developing vertical stripes of black and white, basically. I don't know. It's doing weird stuff, that fish. It's happy and healthy and doing what all the other Danios are doing, not clamped up, swimming around happily, joining all the fun. Just likes changing colour. So I'm the opposite, Tom. Then I'm in England. I'm used to the cold. It's the heat I don't like. I mean, if I lived in Tampa, then yeah, I probably would get used to the heat and hate the cold. But as people really say, oh, why are you moaning about being hot? It's wonderful. It won't be long if you're moaning about the cold. And I'm like, I won't. I won't be moaning that it's cold. I'll be the one still walking around in a t-shirt while everyone else has got their winter coats and gloves and scarves and hats and everything on. It's happened before where I've gone down the town to do some shopping, and I've been walking along in a t-shirt, it's snowing, there's everyone giving me weird looks. I'm like, what? It's comfortable. It's not that cold, it's just above freezing. Oh, pardon me, I've definitely got wind today. Yeah, I know why. Supporting weird fetishes. Yes, thank you very much, Bob. Yeah, I haven't actually got any weird fetishes. It's kind of disappointing. Winter is not cool. No, winter is cold, D. That's the point. Yeah, Pam wants the snow back. Hello, Pam. How are you, my darling? I literally woke up yesterday just as you said goodbye. So I woke up. Oh, Pam's on. Quick. Bye. Oh, I didn't even get a chance. Type hi and bye. It was like, oh, never mind. Uh, yes. Although, good news. Not this week, next week. I've got a week off work. Yay. Oh, pardon me. And that was me trying to keep that one quiet. Oops. Demonetized. Yeah, sorry, Pam. And apologies to anyone who got earphones in as well, or headphones. Just be glad I didn't just open up and let that one go. But yes. Well, yes, so week off work. So there will be quite a bit of tank maintenance, double water change week, whether they need it or not. And then obviously, yeah, just wild. Yeah, I've heard that one before, Chewy. Yeah, the other one was Chewbacca taking an awkward dump. But yeah, so butterfly cichlid will be going the week I'm off, and then I can get some shellies. Yay! As long as I can find out there's some multis or some similis, because I'm guaranteed by the time I decide, yep, I'm going to get some similis instead, they will have sold out of those as well. Although I did see a multi. there was a tank at Swallow Aquatics. Amongst all the other fish in there, I spotted one multi swimming about. I had a real good look, see if there was any more in there or in any of the tanks around it, but it was just the one. It's like, I ain't getting just one. I want to get like 4. Hope I get 1 male and 3 females. Very difficult to tell the gender, especially when they're young. Because basically what I've heard is you look for the males being larger, which when they're not fully grown is a bit tricky. Full grown males having a slight nipple hump, which again, they're not going to be full grown buying from the shop. And the males have slightly more finnage. Again, it's going to be, and we all know what happens if you go into the fish shop and you go, I want that one, that one, that one. You're not going to get them ones. Sad about some of the whales on our coastline. Yeah, well, I haven't heard of any lately. I know we do sometimes get sperm whales getting lost in the North Sea, and then they basically starve, unfortunately, and then they beach themselves. North Sea is just not deep enough for sperm whales to feed in. It doesn't have the right kind of life because it's not deep enough. Which is why also the weather's normally really bad. Population of orcas in the English area don't have a thing. I wasn't even aware we even had any orcas anymore. I must be somewhere right up north in Scotland. This part of the country, the only whales I say we ever do see are, I said, sperm whales that get lost and end up on the beaches of North Norfolk. Some porpoises. We don't really get dolphins around here either. Really, the only marine mammals we get around here commonly are the common seal. Shark-wise, what do we get? Taupe, and that's about it. Maybe the occasional blue, but they're more oceanic. Trying to think what other. Yeah, I think that's about it. Yeah, taupe, the occasional blue. Thresher sharks are the other side of the country. Yeah, that's about it. All we get around here. Coincidentally, it means there's a lot of other things living in the sea that will probably be eaten by them. The transient group is known to go always from Norway. Yeah, well, the Norwegian fjords are probably rich hunting grounds for something like a killer whale or an orca, whichever one you want to call it. Yeah, there's far colder water. I mean, the North Sea is cold, but marine-wise, it's not considered a cold water sea. Like animals may on people. Yeah, I think probably most of us here prefer animals to people usually. Although some animals are asses, just like some people are. But you can take an animal at face value. It's not going to lie to you. Yeah. Yep. Orcas of the wolf pack. Yep. Yeah. Replacing the German U-boats from World War II, basically. Just far more interesting. It's one of those things that there probably was a female in the group, and then all the males had a go and guppied her to death, probably. Always the sad thing when that happens. Let's just hope the males don't get really desperate and decide they're in prison. Yeah, let's say animals rock. Some people rock. Everyone here in the chat rocks. It's just a lot of people are just, as Tom said earlier, idiots. Orcas of Australia, the most predatory one, taking on a great white. Yeah, well, I mean, they're bigger. They hunt in a pack. Yeah. Wouldn't surprise me if they took down the occasional whale shark either. And a white. Well, no, white does have does have normal muscle tissue, being a requiem shark, and technically semi-warm blooded. Yeah, but given the choice, Chewy, I'd rather eat salmon than I would shark. Yeah. And I would probably put money on the ones from the Puget Sound have got different teeth than the ones from Australia. It's like with eels, the common eel, just Gila anguilla. There are two distinct varieties of it, certainly in the UK. I don't know about elsewhere. The ones that end up on a mainly shellfish diet develop a shorter, broader head. with bigger, crunchier teeth, and the ones that are more piscivorous, eat fish, tend to end up with a longer, more narrow head, which is better for speed, better for. But you get that in the same species dimorphism. You get it from the same clutches. It's they kind of evolve as they live to what their diet is, which is and it can be difference from one waterway to the next. One in a lake might have huge access to freshwater mussels, for example, whereas the one in the river, literally 50 feet away, might only have access to fish, so it eats fish. And they're actually semi-endangered in the UK now, eels. They've been, or in Europe mainly, because on the continent they get harvested, shall we say, that hard when they're young. And the young elvers get harvested and they don't get to go and breed. But I think things have been done about that now. Yeah, it's you evolve to your environment, or we evolve to our environments. Pam living a mile up the side of a mountain, for example, her body has got used to lower oxygen concentrations in the air. Me living basically at, and in the past below sea level. Now, if I went up there, I'd be struggling for breath permanently. No new fish, Bob, not this week. Just some baby guppies that are slowly being eaten. I think that's it. Still looking into and researching getting myself a gecko. No promises on that one because it's going to take me a lot of research and a lot of learning. And the quick skim I have had, going to be more expensive than I thought. And need more space than I thought. But I didn't realise quite how big a leopard gecko would get. I thought they were like that kind of size and cute. Didn't realise they were like got to that kind of size. Oh right, yeah. So I can't just get the tiny little vivarium, a tiny little heat mat, a flower pot, a bit of sand. Bit more to it than that, it turns out. As I say, I know it's one thing with me, like when I bought the Bashir, wherever he's hiding up, there he is now, down there somewhere. I kind of had a clue, it's a fish. I keep fish. I knew kind of what I was getting myself into. And I knew it was going to sit in quarantine for at least a week anyway. So 15. Good one, Tom. I say that if I'm going to get a new type of animal, a reptile, I'm going to have to do a lot of research into it, so I at least have a clue what I'm doing. Do they eat pellets? Do they have to have crickets or mealworms? Does it have to be dipped in some kind of additive so that they're getting the correct diet? What temperature? How much moisture? So I've got a lot to learn before I even think about getting a lizard or a reptile. Then I also have to think about, am I going to be happy to pick it up and have it on me, or is it going to upset Zach? Because Zach is scared of frogs, so would he be freaked out by a gecko or a chameleon? a chameleon, or an a-hole. Sorry, anal. What the hell do I do if it escapes? All these kind of things. So yeah, lots to look into and learn. I can. What was she saying? Very few accuracies understand that populations where they're collected. Okay, get really good records. Yeah. Chameleons. Yeah, I'll say, but I would want what is considered, and as far as I understand it, things like leopard and maybe bearded. Is it leopards and beardies? Are considered like entry level, my first reptiles kind of thing. Now I'm not the one who's going to go out and get their first snake and better get a python or a boa. I'm not dumb like that. It's been done, I'm sure of it, but oh yeah, chameleons are often, yeah. Well, the reason they're chameleons is because they're prey to a lot of things. And if they weren't prey, they wouldn't be able to change colour and camouflage. But again, there you're looking. I know I'm perfectly happy handling mealworms, and they can't escape too much. I don't want crickets jumping around the house, especially not chirping all night. That'd drive me up the wall. So yeah, it's one of those things I'd have to look into the costs of all the individual things you'd need to get. Would it be cheaper to get a starter set, which would have, say, the vivarium, the heater, and a light, and whatever? Or would I be better off buying the bits separately so I can get exactly what I want? That kind of stuff. Crickets have an odour too. Smell's not going to bother me. My tank light schedule, I generally turn them on when I feed in the morning between 9 and 10, and they normally go off around about 11 o'clock at night when I get home from work. So they're on 12 or 13 hours a day. That's if I remember to turn them off. Yeah, so my lights are on for too long. I should have massive algae problems, but I don't. Oh yeah, it's because I've got plecos, snails, and shrimps in most of the tanks, so gets eaten. Yay, nerite snails. No water timers, Tom. There's only 11 of them, and 2 of them haven't got lights on even. So 2 are fluval flexes, so it's just a case of pressing the button on the remote, and the rest is just a case of wander around, press a button, turn them all on. So as I go to the tanks to feed them, that's when I turn the lights on. So they all know in the morning when the light comes on, it's time for food. I know it's one of those things I should probably look into getting auto timers and having it automated, but I'd rather have another tank. Because by the time I bought enough timers for all of them, tank will be cheaper. And yes, I would go for the wind-up ones, the old-fashioned one where you pull the little buttons in and out as to when you want it on and off, and it just goes round on not clockwork, but on a little motor. And then if you get a power cut, you have to reset them all. But yeah, that's what I'd go with. But yeah, no auto timers at the moment. getting whipped by an iguana's tail. Yeah, I wouldn't want an iguana. Again, that's another reason. It's an animal that could do serious harm. Now I know Zach could if he wanted to, but I can read a furry creature. I can, I've got enough experience with dogs and cats that I can read what their mood is and how they're feeling, whether they're likely to bite me or claw me. But with a reptile, I have no experience, so I definitely wouldn't want one that, especially not one that's going to get as big as me. An iguana. I haven't got a big enough house for a 6 foot iguana, or the big boy they got down at Swallow Aquatics, the monitor lizard. Yes, they have a full-grown monitor down there that eats entire chickens. And no, they don't feed him when the shop's open. They gets fed in the evening once the shop's closed, because otherwise people get upset about this big lizard basically just inhaling an entire chicken in one go. Hom, nom, nom, nom. It'd be like watching me trying to eat a burger, just a bit quicker probably, and with less sauce running down its face. But yeah, you get the idea. I'm a rebel. Yeah. I used to be when I was younger. I've grown up since. Now I look at things and go, nah, it's just asking for trouble. It's the amount of times I've injured myself randomly. I've done a pet that's going to injure me randomly as well. Hey, behave you. Hey, yes, you butterfly cichlid. You're not a shell dweller. Stop trying to bury a shell. Oh yeah, little birds are nice. Little lovebirds. Oh, lovebirds can be psychotic. Basically being mini parrots. I got same beak layout, so they will take a nice chunk out of you quite happily. Yeah, budgies, canaries, finches. Yeah, they're all cool. Did used to have a fairly tame blue tip that lived in the garden. I've got to stroke it a few times. It did sit on my finger once, but that was one of those. It hops on your finger and you just freeze. You daren't breathe. Yeah, yeah. It's basically full-grown monitor lizard eating a full-grown chicken is like us eating a chicken nugget. It just disappears. Seriously, Spider, you are basically lining yourself up with that feeding hole in the fluval flex. That is not a good idea. Chickens are fun as well. I do actually like chickens, live ones. They are friendly and they like a fuss. Being picked up, having a cuddle. Just make sure you point the bum away from you so they don't poop down you. And yeah, chickens are cool. A lot of birds have I had. Not really had many. I've personally not had any birds as pets, but there were some Canada geese down at the lake I used to fish, and they kind of accepted me because I was down there regularly. Never did them any harm, never did their babies any harm. Sat there quietly fishing away. So they would come and sit by me when there were other people around the lake. I'd just sit there. I'd throw them the occasional bit of sweet corn or whatever. pellets, whatever I was using as bait. I'd have a little nibble. We kind of came to an understanding that they didn't bother me, I didn't bother them. Anyone else got close to them though and got chased off. And one of the last things you want is an angry Canada goose after you, because you're not going to get away from it. So I think I still say the most impressive thing I had, bird-wise fishing, was sitting there holding my pole, not rod, pole, fishing away, and a kingfisher landed on the pole. So I basically froze, held my breath, just sat there, just staring. Just a standard British kingfisher, but pretty rare to be seen. Most people have never seen one. We'll just see a slight electric blue flash disappear down the river. And he had decided it was going to use my pole as a perch. And then it jumped off into the water, came up and proceeded to brain a gudgeon to death on the pole, eat it, and then bugger off. Which I then forgot about. And then when I pulled the pole back in, grabbed the top kit to rebait, got a handful of slimy gudgeon stuff. Wasn't pleasant, but hey, price you're willing to pay. Get a bit dead gudgeon on you to see a kingfisher so close is well worth it. What other livestock do we have down that lake? There were rabbits, roe deer, stoats, weasels, water voles, rats. It's a fishing lake. There's always rats. Mice. All manner of songbirds. There was never a quiet day down there. You could sit there and almost be deafened by birds in the trees and the bushes all around you, just singing away like crazy. And speaking of which, yes, the comets in the pond have been spawning again this week. Spotted them through the kitchen window. I assume they're spawning because it looks exactly like what other cyprinids I've seen spawning in the wild do. So they're either going to eat them all, or we're going to have baby comets in the pond at some point. At which point they'll probably get eaten by the parents, I would assume. But that would be cool. I know, basically, worthless if it comes to selling them, because pardon me, a comet goldfish around here costs less than a guppy does. So, and you're lucky if you can give away guppies these days. The place mine will be going, as and when I get rid of them, once they've got tails back anyway, I won't get any money for them, and they may just get used as live food for the snakeheads. So, but hey, that is nature. And as the guy says, he knows they're healthy. This is the place I had my cribs, and then he's got a bit of a problem with them now because I sold him what I knew was one breeding pair and 17 others. He's now got 9 breeding pairs of cribs. He's going to be overrun. Welcome back, Dan. Yeah, so it does appear that I am actually basically accidentally keeping the entirety of Norfolk stocked with crebensis. So, hey, blame Pam. She started it all. So it was actually the first egg-laying fish I bred. What had I bred before the cribs? It was platies, which don't really count. Um, and cherry shrimp. But yeah, so so the cribs were the first egg layers I bred. Um, so they'll always have a soft spot in my heart. Plus, they're gorgeous fish. Anytime you see them in a shop, they're always washed out and they're kind of a dull silver with dark stripes, and that's about it. But you get them home and they get comfortable and happy, and they all fully colour up, and you're like, oh my god. Perhaps that'd be an idea for fish shops, where you have the fish in the tanks and you actually have a picture of what they're going to look like. Because we know things like guppies and platies and generally the smaller nano fish will just look the same, whereas some of the bigger fish like cichlids or whatever, they get stressed out, they lose their colours and they're stressed out. So what do I know about I'm trying to remember what I know about the USS Texas. Battleship, good armour, very good secondary armament, slow, and I think we're about there. That's my knowledge of the USS Texas. Hey. And it is currently not in the console version of World of Warships. It is in the PC version though. So I have all of the American battleships. Oh yeah, for the time was class of the US Navy. Things during that period, especially naval, well, pretty much any kind of military vehicle, let's say, whether it be floaty thing, flyy thing, or rolly thing, yeah, came on leaps and bounds. What was cutting edge in 1939 was obsolete by 1945. So 45, you got things like Vanguard, Yamato, Iowa. Yamato and Misha. Yeah, Yamato and Musashi, the Iowa class, the Vanguard. Bismarck and Tirpitz were already at the bottom of the sea, as were Yamato and Musashi. Oh, is it one of the ones they've made it a museum ship, Chewie? Is that what they've done with that? Was it a museum ship or do they turn it into a reef? Can't remember. I know some of the wrecks from Pearl Harbor are still at the bottom. They weren't refloated. They were left as mass graves, to be honest, as memorials to the soldiers or the sailors that died aboard them during the attack. And there are still people in there. So yeah, that's kind of pretty much my knowledge on that. Yeah, it was an important ship. Was it South Pacific? Yeah, it was the Pacific Fleet. Trying to clunk. There's just so many ships. It's difficult to remember what was where. Was it a Leyte Gulf? I can't remember. That was the big turning point when certain American admirals got a bit lucky, and a couple of very plucky destroyers saved a lot of battleships and cruisers from getting obliterated. When you've got destroyers firing their guns at battleships to try and get the battleships to shoot at the destroyers, not the aircraft carriers, all the battleships. Oh, a masked family cookout. Yeah. So have fun and be safe with that, Bob. Actually, the other thing is, as my American friends may not realise, it was this Friday that the wearing masks in shops became compulsory or mandatory in the UK. So I've had lots of fun the last few days telling people to put a mask on. There's some people who have been arses about it. Most people have either had the masks on because it's what they should do, or they've literally legitimately just forgot to put it on. Interesting, the model, easy to build. No, yeah, it's all depends on the scale. That's the thing, and how accurate you want to be. I mean, if I was going to build a battleship, it would be a 1/700th. So yeah, it would be pretty simple. I wouldn't want to do a 350th or a 200th though, because then I would need to buy all the metal barrels, the photo etch sets, the wooden decks, all that kind of stuff. And it starts getting really expensive and really annoying and fiddly to put together. If you want a really interesting one to look up, Chewy, the HMS Warspite. Yeah. Warspite had what can only be described as plot armor. What that thing survived is unreal. When you're sending a battleship up the Norwegian fjords to hunt out German destroyers. It survived Jutland. And it took a serious hammering. But yeah, it's just one of those. It's like a lucky ship. It should have been sunk several times. And then when they actually went to sink it, it was being decommissioned and then scrapped. It managed to run itself aground and get stuck and sink because it didn't want to be broken up because it's Warspite. It's absolutely awesome ship. And again, compared to late war stuff, no, out of date. I mean, it had its updates, it had radar and all that good stuff, but compared to what would be termed a modern battleship, because battleships didn't really go anywhere after World War II. It was kind of realised that you got an aircraft carrier, a battleship is it's just a target, really. The amount of anti-aircraft firepower you have to put on it just to try and keep it safe, it's just not worth the hassle. Better off with anti-aircraft cruisers protecting the aircraft carriers. Obviously, cruisers being a smaller target are a lot harder to hit, and smaller, faster, more manoeuvrable. A lot harder to hit them with a bomb or a torpedo. But big, slow battleship, quite easy to hit with a torpedo. Yeah. There goeth Sharpie's history lesson on World War II naval warfare. Anyway, it's that time in the stream where I'm going to have to go and have a stream. So I'll be back momentarily. Keep an eye on that spider. I be back. Clear. Oh yeah, taking out the Luftwaffe was, yeah. Taking out the Luftwaffe meant that the Germans couldn't invade Britain, basically. Yeah. And without, that was the first case of air superiority being a thing. You know, without the Luftwaffe having enough planes left to be able to defend Germany, we could then bomb Germany once we had enough long-range fighter escorts in the way of the Mustangs. Did I see Overlord? I haven't yet. It's on my list of things to watch. Just, well, I say waiting for it to come out. It is out. It's just on my list, which is getting longer and longer. I say it's. I've heard good things about it, so I'll enjoy watching it. I'm not one of those that's going to go, oh my god, it's rubbish. They used the wrong model of whatever plane or tank, or there weren't any Mark 5s, there were only Mark 3s at that time. But, well, you know, fair enough. Doesn't ruin my enjoyment of the movie, and I might notice it. Certain older movies where Tiger, and you go, that's a T-34. That's a T-34 that you built a plywood box around. Dad was stationed in London as head accountant for the Canadian Air Force. Ah, cool. That's like even the Air Force need accountants. I'm going to have to turn on the light because the rain clouds are coming over and it's getting a bit dark. Not that that's going to make any difference because it's going to take at least 5 minutes for the light to actually kick out any light, being a low energy bulb. Low energy because it doesn't actually light up. It's a thing I've had the last few years where I prefer the Eastern European or Japanese, Korean war movies made in those languages, in those countries, to the typical Hollywood type. They tend to be more factually and historically accurate. They tend not to change things to make the story better or to completely change the outcome of something. Yeah. Hey, it's Hollywood. The bad guys can't win. Which is one reason I find quite a lot of movies quite boring, is because oh, this is the hero character. They will win. They will survive to the end of the movie. They will defeat the bad guy. Just once I'd like a movie where the bad guy wins. Although, what was the place called? A good one, if you want to do a bit of research on, would be Nazinski Island, Jury. It was a Russian penal colony. Yeah, that didn't go well. Basically, you stick several thousand people on an island in a river in the Siberian winter with no supplies and see what happened. So that Repo Man. How do you mean Repo Man? I know. I'm thinking of the opera. Yeah, that's it. If you watch any like the Avengers movies or whatever, you know what's going to happen before you even sit down. You're just watching it for the spectacle, not the storytelling, not the acting. You're just watching it for the spectacle. It's the studio. Same with music as well. They figured out the cheapest way to make the thing that will make the most money, and that's it. They're not worried about whether it's actually any good or not, as long as it makes money. I mean, think about it. Would say Schindler's List get made these days? Probably not. Shawshank Redemption? No. And we're not talking about old movies there, are we? They just wouldn't get made these days. I mean, Tom Hanks, The Terminal, that would definitely not get made because that's basically a 2-hour movie where nothing happens. And it's actually based on a true story, that one. Trying to think what I've got to do tomorrow now. Oh, I mean, Nashville, Tennessee. The as I say, I live in basically musical death zone. The only famous musicians to come from around here are Kathy Dennis and The Darkness, which is a bit sad, really. Actually, yeah, did I read that right this week that Mr. Trump was complaining about the Rolling Stones being un-American because they wouldn't let him use their music? I was like, hang on, un-American? Yeah, they are un-American because they're English, dumbass. Seriously? Have you not heard them speak? Yeah. Oh. That's dead, and that's me out of energy drink. So I know what I'll be doing tomorrow morning. Going out and buying Monsters or similar. We all mistime these things sometimes. I think I'm running low on tobacco as well, so there. It's either wait till I go to work in the evening or go out and get some earlier. Yeah, I think it'll be water changes and filter cleans on the Pleco tubs for tomorrow. Tuesday I'm at work all day. Wednesday I'll be doing more water changes. Official drink to the UFC. We need the official drink of the fish fam. Although I think that's probably coffee. Yeah. Official drink of the fish fam. Coffee or siphoned tank water, which we all get a mouthful of more often than we'd care to admit, I'm sure. Although it tastes better than paintbrush water, let's be honest. Paintbrush water tastes. Anyone who's done a lot of paintings, models or artists, will have had a mouthful of paintbrush water at some point or another. You see, now, I know Katie Lang is famous, and I know she's extremely successful, but the only song of hers I know is Constant Craving. I've probably heard others and just not realised it was Katie Lang, but that one where there's stuff on the radio and they don't actually say who it is. It's really annoying. Especially when they talk over the start or the end of the song, but it's not to tell you who it is. No. Say who it is, then I'll know what to buy if I like it. If I don't like it, I'll know what to avoid. Speaking of which, this week I have mostly been listening to Dinosaur Jr. Bit of garage rock with the most laconic, laid-back frontman ever. Just shamble up to the microphone, stand there, make impressive noise with the guitar with minimal physical movement, and then sing without barely opening your mouth. Hey, it works. Well, it works for Jay Mascis anyway. I'll say we don't really get country music over here. It doesn't kind of cross the Atlantic. Sometimes we'll get like a certain song from a certain person, so like "Achy Breaky Heart" or a couple of Dixie Chicks tunes. Yeah, that's hard to say with a lisp. Um, Lady Antebellum had a fairly successful album. I think that would be like the odd song. Obviously, people like Dolly Parton are famous and well known, and her songs have done well, and Willie Nelson and that kind of thing. But most of it just doesn't make it across the ocean. Um, yes. Then we have our own folk music, so kind of swings and roundabouts. Our folk music probably doesn't make it across your side of the pond. It's a strange world in which we live. But then some of the bands I listen to are much more successful in the US and Europe than they are in the UK. Uh, yes, the problem with being a vegetarian in an industry run by cattle ranchers. Not going to work out too well. Going to get blackballed. Yes. It would be kind of like a spokesman for Coke getting caught drinking Pepsi. Not going to go down too well. Yeah. What else have I got to talk about? Not a huge amount, really. Um, Zach has been scratching his head and making it bleed again, so that was healing up nicely, and now he's covered in blood again. So typical. Um, Work is definitely haunted. There's another twice this week. I've seen someone in the shop, and there's not been anyone in the shop. Yeah, so that would have been you out of work, Chewy. Um, I do wonder that sometimes when you get the big famous, the stars who have their people who work now, their PAs and their managers and stylists and all that. When they shoot themselves in the foot and kill their career, it's not them I'd feel sorry for. It'd be those people that work for them who, through no fault of their own, because their boss did something dumb, find themselves out of work. Probably find their paycheck bouncing as well as a result. Was it Will Smith? It was only a few years ago. He finally cleared his debts from not paying taxes for a while when he first became successful. Johnny Cash, Elvis, Merle Haggard, Charlie Daniels. Yeah, definitely all people I've heard of. Although, again, Charlie Daniels, the only song I'm familiar with is Devil Went Down to Georgia. Not familiar with any others. Obviously, Johnny Cash and Elvis, everyone knows dozens of their songs. Merle Haggard, again, is a name I know, but I'm not familiar with the music. Iconic performers, none of them are true talent vocally. This is the thing is you know, you can be the best singer in the world, but if you've got zero stage presence or charisma, you ain't gonna get anywhere. Um, I say again, taking it back to Nightwish with Floor, she's got the stage presence, the charisma. And okay, the stage presence helps by being like 6'2" and then wearing heels. And awesome voice. And doesn't appear to be ego driven either. Hey, Big J, how you doing? Good to see you. Hope all is well with you. Yeah, I would say it's not. You don't necessarily have to have a great voice. You have to have. You have to be able to carry a tune, obviously, but having your own distinct sound and being able to write your own music is far more important. And Dan likes the Backstreet Boys because he's back all right. Yeah, yeah, that's just embarrassing, Dan. Oh, God, Chewy, basically rollers. Oh no, no, no. Now we're through the bottom of the barrel. Yeah, and we're not gonna sing Shang-a-Lang or Bye Bye Baby. I mean, I could go worse and go Shawaddy Waddy. Oh dear, I knew, yeah. For some reason, I nearly read that as Rod Hull and Emu, not Emmylou Harris. Did probably the right people here to ask? Did Status Quo ever get big in the States? Uh, an English rock band that sold millions upon millions, masses of fans, fairly cheesy. Um, rest in peace, Rick Parfitt, obviously. Big in Canada. Fair enough. So at least you know who Status Quo are then. What about, and here's one that'll make Dan laugh, Chaz and Dave. Or and Dave as it is now. Rest in peace, Chaz Hodges. Chaz and Dave are just legendary. And actually considerably more talented than a lot of people give them credit for. Um, Again, as we were saying, no outstanding voices between them, no outstanding musicianship, but they knew how to write a song. They might not have known the might not have known the reasons why things sounded good, but they just knew they sounded good. I'm suspecting a lot of artists strum away on a guitar until they come, or a piano, until they come up with a tune that sounds good, and then write a song around it. Unlike Tool, where you have to be a bloody mathematician to understand what the hell's going on. Yeah, 2 members of the Eagles were in Linda Ronstadt's band. That's cool. Yeah. I know which ones it weren't. Pretty sure it wouldn't have been Don Henley anyway. Sorry, Don Henley. There's my southern accent coming back through again, dropping the H's. I reckon the camera. When's the Destiny album? Cool. I don't think I've got any firsts, but I do have a copy on. It was Don Henley and Glenn Fry. Jeez. I do have a copy of the Cults debut when they were known as the Southern Death Cult on tape somewhere. Black and white photocopy jobby. Whether it still plays or not, I don't know, and the sound quality's god awful, but that was before Ian Astbury decided he was going to be a Native American and sing with an American accent. That was when he still sounded like a boy from Bradford. Are you playing silly buggers again down there, Spaz? Oh yeah? Hey? For a nocturnal fish that's supposed to be shy, he's definitely not. Well, I say here, I have no idea how to tell the gender of a Bashir. Oh, he's going to swim in. Is he going to come out the other ear? Oh, no, he's gone back again. I reckon if I was to just swipe that spider off the ceiling gently, right now it would actually fall directly into the feeding hole on the tank. Chewie is a walking encyclopedia. I know a bit about most things, but I've had less time to learn than Chewie has. Let's put it that way. That does make me wonder whether Linda Ronstadt, with them two in the band, ever did Hotel California live. That'd be interesting. Or would there have been arguments about royalties and rights with the rest of the Eagles? Probably. Because, they have proved themselves to be complete arses as time has passed by with regards to things like that. What was it? I was watching Rick Beato's video earlier this week about people blocking videos and things. I may be wrong, but I think he said, Don Henley said he employs 20 people to go through YouTube and other formats to block videos that have any reference to Eagles songs in them or his songs. Like, really? The amount of money you are losing from the advertising, perhaps when someone is showcasing one of your songs. I mean, I can understand with the reaction channels where they're just playing the song and going, yeah, I like that, or no, I don't really like that. That I can understand you not wanting them to get the money from. So when it's someone like Rick Beato who's going through the song, explaining it, oh yeah, Joe Walsh, yeah, he also proved himself to be a massive arse. When it's someone going through and teaching you, educating how the song is put together, what the chord progressions are, and all that kind of stuff, that's not someone who's not doing any work. He's working to do that. I don't think that should come under copyright, or those kind of things shouldn't get blocked. If it's an educational video where they're playing snippets of the song, it's a completely different matter to me anyway. I mean, legally it's probably the same thing. Well, there's a subcommittee coming up to discuss it all, so we shall see what they say. Rabbit, 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 yap, yap, rabbit, yap, yap, rabbit. She's got more rabbit than Sainsbury's. It's time you got it off your chest. Weird thing about that line is Sainsbury's don't stock rabbit. Sorry, singing Chaz and Dave songs now. Yeah, but Dan, you listen to that and the timing they've got on the rabbit rabbit section in that song, you've got to be tight and know what you're doing to get that one right. Especially as I suspect that was probably recorded in one room with everyone in the same room. Original Eagles fan. So I grew up, when I was young, my dad would listen to the Eagles and that kind of stuff. Yeah, One of These Nights, Witchy Woman, all that kind of stuff. I'll try to remember the song. Take It Easy. That was it. I just had to run through the lyrics in my head till I got to the chorus. But yeah, so that's generally where Doobie Brothers. I say again, it's bands that you know a lot of their songs, but you might not necessarily. Someone of my age group, anyway, you'll know the songs and you'll sing along to them on the radio or wherever, but you might not necessarily know the title of the song and the artist, but you know the song. Blackwater. And randomly, somehow, Bob gets us back onto fish keeping. Something I have considered is a Blackwater tank. I was wondering whether that would maybe help the Epistos out, turn it into a Blackwater. So I've not tried one yet. Obviously, I've got some tannins in some tanks, and the big chunk of wood in that Pleco tub leaks plenty of tannins. The water I take out at water changes is tea coloured almost. Yeah, Don Henley with an H. You're a little bit behind there, Dan. Maybe you're on a delay of some description. Tom Johnson and Patrick Simmons, amazing guitar duo. Yeah, it's like the Like the old song Henry the Eighth I Am, which doesn't work with anything other than a North London accent. It wouldn't. Yeah, this is. I've taken the worst parts of the accents from the various places I've lived, in that I've just dropped various letters from my lexicon over the years. H being one of the main ones. L as well tends to drop as well fairly regularly. But hey, it's all good. As long as you can kind of understand me, that's okay. As long as I don't start speaking French or something, because then everyone would get very confused. Except for maybe Chewy. Chewy probably speaks French. Sebastian multitask, definitely. He can swim and breathe at the same time. And he can swim and eat at the same time. But even men can like walk and eat. Un peu, a little. Mais oui, monsieur. Qu'est-ce que vous faites le weekend? Yeah, I know, sad. Considering I did French in high school, what, 28 years ago was the last time I did any French. The fact that some of it's still stuck in is minor miracle. And it has to be said, it was one of the lessons I really didn't enjoy. Yeah, it was French I didn't like, drama I hated. Art I should have liked, but I had an absolute git of a teacher. And then religious studies I got let out of due to religious differences. Yeah, the teacher realised it was better for me to go and disappear to the library for half an hour or an hour than it was to have me in her class, disrupting everything, pointing out the flaws or the idiosyncrasies and the wrongnesses and the hypocrisies. Took a couple of weeks and she was like, yeah, you just go up to the library for an hour. Don't come back, please. It was just turn up, get signed into the register and then go to the library, which was fine by me because I was quite happy in the library reading books, learning about random stuff that wasn't religion. And yep, as Chewy says, it all goes back to Robert Johnson. Down at the crossroads. Did anyone ever actually figure that one out, Chewy? Because he started out, wasn't very good, disappeared for a year or two, and came back awesome. Did he just like hide up in a cabin somewhere and practice, or get lessons, or did he sell his soul to the devil at the crossroads? Perhaps we shall never know. And perhaps it's one of those things where the mystique should stay. We shouldn't know. There's a lot of the times when you find out the truth about something like that, it's like, oh. And then it loses its interest. And so, yeah, when it comes to Mike Reno singing China Grove, I've been to a fair few karaoke's in my life, let's put it this way. I've heard worse versions of most of those songs. Only the Sinister Minister knows in that movie. Oh, yes, the Sinister Minister, yes. Yeah, Dan, you're definitely about 10 minutes behind somewhere, I think. My chat is also. Is it the chat is behind, or is there a delay somewhere? I'm not entirely sure. But hey, I'm about to finish anyway, so if there is an issue, hopefully it cures itself for next week, when I should hope. Well, I could hopefully have new fishies. Ooh. And hopefully new fishies that can go straight into a tank and don't need quarantining. And yeah, Sean's not here anymore, is he? Perhaps someone else might know. So if I've got a 15-gallon tank, if I've got, say, 3 or 4 Neolamprologus in there, similis, let's say, would some Cyprichromis leptosoma, maybe a pair, be good to have in there, or would they cause issues? I wouldn't have thought so, as they do seem to coexist quite happily. But then a lot of the people I've been watching videos, or a lot of the videos I've watched about shell dwellers this week, has been people keeping them in 10-gallon tanks. So and I think I'm probably going to be waiting about 10 minutes to get an answer to any of that. So I might just leave it there. Anyway, as Father Fish has now gone live, and my chat does appear to be considerably behind, or something's lagging anyway, what I should do is I should say thank you for watching and sticking with me. Thank you again very much, Bob, for the super chat. Most appreciated. It will go towards something useful that lives in a glass box. Yeah, stay safe. Wear a mask. I don't want to hear about anyone, especially Brits. I don't want to hear about anyone getting £100 fine because they didn't wear a mask in the shop. But yes, have a good week. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Try on a London accent with Scottish background. Oh, jeez. Yeah, that must be hilarious. I understand you though, Dan, so don't worry about it. Anyway, thanks for watching. Have fun. Peace out. Rock on. Keep your pinky nails cut shorter than mine. Bye-bye. Right, now let's go kill that bloody spider before it drops on my head.